Hello Aries, welcome back. This is Marina from the Butterfly Effect, and this is a reading for January 2020. I am going to be reading for a masculine here, but you can switch your genders if the story fits that way for you. The energy of the, stick it in a candle, is the fox in reverse, the stag upright, clarified with the quest in reverse. Okay, so with this combination, this is someone who would very much like to take the lead, but is really confused as to how to take the lead. Don't know what direction to take. Someone who's, I do really feel this person is missing you or someone very, very much, and they just can't seem to get things back on track. They've entered into a zone here of overthinking with the fox spirit in reverse. But this is also someone who's a bit too clever for their own good. This is someone who likes to play games. They're usually pretty dishonest, a bit fly and sly, either to others or even to themselves, or they're just involved in what they consider a really tricky situation. But overthinking is the main thing on this. I did get let's go crazy. So they want to take the lead. They know they need to take the lead. They don't know how to do it. The quest is in reverse, because the quest is sort of showing two paths and someone who's always on the move. It feels like their progress is stunted. It's almost like they've backed themselves into a corner here with their own game playing. I will refer back to my Aries January, February, March video that went up a couple of days ago for the first quarter. It might be very similar to the Aries story with Morris here, who's just been a bit too fly for his own good and now doesn't really know how to get himself out of the corner he's backed himself into. It could well be that. But it could be an entirely different story, you understand. So I did have a look at the external energy. I do have probably a feminine here, dove spirit in reverse, which is be peace with insecurity. This is someone who's not really prepared to offer the olive branch, who's not really looking to make peace in the situation, who's almost sort of pieced out. They don't feel secure in this relationship with you, Aries. I am speaking to the masculine, the Foxy here in reverse. They don't feel secure enough with you to really consider taking this relationship any further or getting it back on track, depending how the situation is for you. And with the eel spirit in reverse, this is bring your dreams to life with growth. I sort of feel they just don't. I got actually on this, the dreamer's disease. If you're not familiar with my readings, I get a lot of songs come through. They will be in the drop down box. Do have a listen, and please excuse my nails. I haven't had time to do them since the new year. So yeah, this is someone who's maybe got the dreamer's disease, but I just sort of feel that they don't see any growth with you. They don't see... I mean, it can very much be that they're ignoring, you know, an epiphany of their own. They're in some sort of denial here. But in the main, I really do feel it's a case of they don't really want to bring this back to life. They don't feel secure in the relationship. They're not prepared to reach a resolution with you, quite possibly. I just kind of feel they're pieced out, and it is really probably because the Foxy spirit here is in reverse, and that's just someone who is just way too fly and not really someone that you know, engenders any sort of trust in themselves. So the heart of the matter, your significator, I have the 5 of Cups upright, my green woman in reverse, and the 8 of Swords upright. So this, I feel that you're very much missing this person, Aries, with the 5 of Cups here. Everything feels really stunted and blocked with my green woman in reverse. This can be that you are you're not particularly feeling confident at the moment, either in general or with regards to maybe getting this person back or resolving this situation. It doesn't need to be a love story, even though that's how I'm going to read it. But with the green woman in reverse, this is like hitting a lot of dead ends. I feel that you're sort of regretting maybe inappropriate choices that you've made. And it also can sort of suggest that you're going from one extreme to the next. You know, you want to be all in, then you're all out. Your mood swings may be quite pronounced. And with the Eight of Swords here, this is feeling very trapped in this situation. Oh, sorry. I mean, the green woman can represent the feminine and just feeling blocked in that direction. There are obviously the two cups upright in the background here. You know, if you were able to, you know, pull yourself away and look behind you and maybe let this go. There's more positivity here, because the way that you've been going with the three cups knocked over and the green woman in reverse, there's not a lot to look, you know, positive there. But behind you I've got the Eight of Swords, so this is being very mentally trapped in this situation. This is really feeling very stuck indeed. Don't feel very free, don't feel able to move on. I mean, I feel you're still holding on to some sort of hope here in this relationship. I mean, I actually do think you could choose to free yourself, but you almost don't want to. Because in your blocked position, Aries, I've got the Nine of Cups in reverse. Now, this is obviously not getting your wish fulfillment. I do think there might be an element of possible greed here, but in the main, I think you're just really dissatisfied with the situation and with your life in general. I got sort of itchy when I was pulling this card. There's like a sort of general discomfort. There's a general dis-ease in your current situation. There's not a lot of joy and fun and lightness, and I almost feel that you would like to communicate this to someone, possibly even to this person, that you're not happy without them, or you're just not happy with your life in general. But with Titan the Self here in reverse, this is you being fickle. Yeah, as with the Foxy spirit in reverse, this is being fickle. This is sort of someone who likes to argue for excitement. You know, they sort of feel that a harmonious, sweet, easygoing relationship is a bit dull unless they spice it up a wee bit. So they like to sort of play games and, you know, just what they consider excitement, but it often backfires into, you know, a broken relationship. But it's almost like you're not really getting the message here with Titan in reverse. Titan is about light bulb moments and really sharp mental acuity. So it's almost like that's slightly dulled, but it's also kind of mentally being irritable, making poor choices. I think this is what you maybe want to convey, that you're not happy with the choices that you've made, that you weren't it may have been that, you know, something has gone too far and what you thought was like a bit of banter that, you know, almost might be your way of flirting, is to sort of create some sort of I can't even think of the words. It's just excitement, but it's excitement through sort of like, you know, a bit of to and fro, but it's almost like it kind of backfired and you're not really happy, and I mean, I'm not saying that's why this relationship is blown up or is over. It seems too petty for that. But there's definitely something you want to communicate, the fact that you're not happy in the situation. I think you've made some poor choices, that you maybe have taken something too far, and it's not really how you intended it to play out. But I am worried that Titan is in reverse here, more so than the Nine of Cups being in reverse, because Titan just sort of means that you're just not seeing things clearly, that almost like your any positive ideas are almost blocked just now, that you've lost enthusiasm. Everything just feels so very, very stuck and stagnant. I'm getting that quite all the way through, Aries, which is why I'm drawing attention to it. In your headspace, I have got the Four of Cups in reverse with my Tahom the Poet. With this is almost just watching the opportunity you had slip away. You're watching this person now from the sidelines with Tahom the poet. He's my lovesick Romeo. Not taking any action, but I just feel that you're feeling very cold, very almost sterile, kind of numb to the situation. And with the Seven of Wands upright and the Maiden in reverse, there's this sort of slightly combative energy yet again. With the Seven of Wands, it's almost like you're standing your ground and you're defending a really shitty position, because the position is the Maiden in reverse, and the Maiden is the best card in this deck, which is all about new beginnings, purity, a baby it can be. But in reverse, this is sort of like a loss of hopes and dreams. It is a very joyless life. On this, I got she moves in mysterious ways. It's kind of flawed virtues as well. So I almost think you're defending the indefensible. That's what I'm getting. And yet you're incredibly unhappy. You're missing someone. There's no joy and hope in your life currently for January. And you're just sort of watching this slip away. At the very base of the matter, I have the Nine of Pentacles with the Lovers, and I really just get with this is that you're very, very keen and looking for love. Currently single, and on the lookout for love. I got on this Come Up and See Me, Valerie. Nothing really more to say about that. It really is that simple. That's actually the sort of purest, clearest part of the reading, and it's at your subconscious level. You're single, you know, you're on your own, and you know, you want to be with someone, probably a particular person, but it may just be general that you don't really want to be on your own anymore, that you're on the market, single, ready to mingle, and looking for love, maybe even elsewhere, because this relationship does not seem to be progressing at all. In your past, I do have the Moon, which is, you know, some confusion, some secrets. I do think the Jehovah here in the Sage. Jehovah is about blowing your fears out of proportion. It's almost like you saw something in the future and it was incredibly confusing for you, or you've chosen to hide something about yourself, or you think that there's a hidden, with this person being very mysterious, you think there's something hidden about them, and that actually instills some sort of fear in you, that you're blowing out of proportion. So on the whole, in the past, and I haven't looked at it in any huge detail, but just to say that there's been an enormous amount of confusion and fear that's really messed with your head. In your immediate future, Aries, I do have the Knight of Wands, so I thought, oh yeah, brilliant, really positive. Knight of Wands. I mean, obviously he is my player, and I do sort of think this person sees you this way, Aries. But it's having, this is your immediate future. It's about getting a bit more get up and go with you or in your life. It's about feeling a lot more passionate. It might be like, you know, something new comes into your life, but you're just feeling really fired up and passionate, and then we instantly hit the Death card. Now, it could be that you're actually feeling really positive that something has ended. This whole situation of feeling, you know, really, really low and really sad and unfulfilled and unexpressed, that's what may be ending with the Death card. This Knight of Wands was his archetype, though, is excessive feelings of entitlement and rulership without a restraint. Now, that may be what's coming to an end. Maybe, you know, however you've conducted yourself in this relationship, which has obviously, it's not particularly in a good place right now. This may be, there may be aspects of yourself that you're looking to change going forward. And with the Knight of Wands, you know, very intent to make these changes, maybe even have this ending. If it's not that, and it's not the way I read it initially, I just sort of felt you were like really fired up and ready to take the lead here in my Stag Spirit, and you just instantly hit a brick wall. I do have Release in reverse and Destiny in reverse here. So, not, again, kind of just not letting it go. Release upright would obviously be being prepared to release your destiny, but in reverse it's suggesting that you're still hanging on to something because you think this was a really important relationship for you. I mean, it doesn't have to be a relationship, it can be anything, but if it's a relationship, you felt that this was your destiny, this person was, you know, a soulmate, but it has broken up with the Lovers. I actually do have the Lovers in reverse in your outcome as well. Hang on a second. Oh, you're watching it. It's good. Go.
I'm waiting for you.
I'm not coming because I'm doing a reading. Sorry. So yeah, there's a breakup here with the Lovers in reverse. There's some sort of argument. It can be regrets. It can be a divorce, and it's just something that you're not getting over. Because as far as you're concerned, this was your destiny and you're not prepared to release it. But the Four of Swords in reverse here, this can be that you're coming out of a period of healing. You may have a period where you have sort of been ostracized sometimes. I do feel a kind of banishment in my Four of Swords here. It's a period of recuperation where you're imagining what you will do when you're, you know, got your juices back and you're good to go again. But I kind of feel that it's almost like it's taken too long, that you haven't maybe taken the action that you should have done, and that's why this has come to a full stop. So if this hasn't played out for you yet, Aries, I think you really need to embody the Knight of Wands energy with the take the lead. Try and deal with your issues on the Fox Spirit in reverse here. You know, be honest with yourself, be honest with those around you, certainly with this individual. If it's something you want to resolve, drop the you know, feelings of entitlement. If you truly feel that this is your destiny, it's really not going to come together unless you are, you know, wholly honest with this person. Because as I say, they don't really trust you with insecurity here, and the Dove, they don't really want to make peace with you because they don't trust you. It's not a relationship or a connection that they feel secure in, and that's why they don't really want to engage. And that's what you need to address if that's something you want. So in where you find yourself, King of Pentacles in reverse here. I've been seeing this coming up in a number of readings. A couple of readers I watched about half a dozen or so, and I've sort of seen this come up quite a lot in January. So this is some sort of instability, usually financially. It can be someone who's pretty jealous, who's pretty stubborn, and it's come up with oh that nom. So this is just, it feels kind of chaotic, like your own stability feels kind of chaotic. And this is why with all that gnome here, I'm coming back to this, you know, taken in reverse, sort of thinking that, you know, to create arguments for excitement is super fun. And that's the sort of thing all that gnome would do. He's obviously he's a bit silly. But I mean, he's super fun as well, but he's a bit drunken oftentimes. He's very unreliable, and you know, he does the unexpected here. So I think you need to be careful, in particular around your finances, Aries, in January, because this is sort of suggesting you might make a sort of rash, ill-considered move that you might think is a bit daring, and it could really upset you financially. If it's not that, I do have your archetype as the vampire, however, and that is depleting others for your psychic survival. Can be chronic complaining and codependency, vampire energy. I just sort of feel that you're still hanging on to sorting this relationship. And not really taking control of your own life, not really sort of, you know, sorting out your own set of circumstances before you look to engage with anyone else. It doesn't feel stable enough, Aries. It doesn't feel stable enough for you to even be in a relationship with someone just now. I think you need to get your own house in order before you try and bring this back into play, because it's not going to work. And look at the amount of reversals I've got here. In terms of how you've been viewed as the Knight of Swords in reverse. This is someone who's really aggressive, really argumentative, has got a lot to say for themselves, is usually pretty negative. Can be someone who's just kind of out of control, maybe even violent. And it is because that there's an imbalance with this feminine yet again, the bright mother. This can just be the feminine that seems to be appearing in this reading, or it can be your own mother, it can be the mother of your children. I always see it as a feminine, however, because things are just completely out of whack here and utterly stuck. And it seems to be really pissing you off. So you're being viewed as somebody who's not handling the situation well, as someone who's reacting really poorly. Not only are you the King of Pentacles in reverse, you're the Knight of Swords in reverse. And the bloody Knight of Wands up here as well. So I'm going to say, Aries, your energy is just off whack. And you need to deal with these individual issues before you look to, you know, bring someone into your life. How your hopes are. The Emperor. This is your own card, Aries, as the Emperor. So you're hoping to, you know, to be mature and stable, in the main, take control of the situation, handle it well, with the Singer of Transfiguration and the Singer of Initiation. So yeah, your hopes are bang on. This is exactly who and what you need to be, Aries. The Initiator is the Stag. That's someone who takes a lead in their own life and you know, various situations. And the Singer of Transfiguration is just that. It is transcendence, it's transformation. It is literally metamorphosis, you know. This is my butterfly card. And that will bring the rewards that you would like. So I think your hopes are spot on, and this is where all your focus needs to be. This is, your hopes are actually the best part of the reading, along with the subconscious base of the matter, that you're single and you're looking for love and you know that. But to bring that in, whether it's this person or someone else, this is who you need to become. You need to get your shit in order. You need to get your own house in order in every, you know, area, really, before you can draw someone else in. In your fears, I do have the Tower. So you are fearing some major upheaval here, something that is going to break down, you know. I kind of feel it already has, but maybe not, that you're not going to recover from this situation, whatever that is for you. And with Mike the Mayamancer here, I sort of feel that Mike is all about omens, and you know, he sees little signs and synchronicities everywhere. I sort of feel that's what you're feeling, that you've almost seen the signs that this is not going to get back on track. If it is a relationship, it can relate to any area of your life, Aries, but it's sort of, I mean, even my energy in this reading is really flat. I don't know if your energy is flat, Aries, but yeah, I feel really flat. Like, this is a struggle. It's almost a struggle to talk and even raise sort of any interest in anything. It feels exhausting. Not in a sleepy way, just in I really can't be arsed. Everything feels like you can't be arsed. And you may be actually afraid that the fact that you haven't been arsed is actually going to cause more destruction, or the destruction of, you know, whatever it is that you don't want destroyed. The same. It's like things are not changing for you. I feel that you've been here for a very long time. The outcome is the Lovers in reverse, which is also in your immediate future. So, you know, this could be you're dealing with a Gemini for it to come up twice, or it is just the fact that I think you've actually you may make a poor decision. If you haven't already, this is sort of suggesting the probable outcome of this reading is a poor decision in love, or the fact that you just make a decision with the Lovers card being in reverse here. But it can also signify a breakup, a divorce, regrets again. I see that you want to have this conversation yet again, and this is in your blocked position. Arvo, the conversation card, is in your blocked position, Aries. And it's also in your outcome. This is my honesty card, but it's also about communication, and it's usually some sort of confession It's a conversation that's very difficult to have. It's a conversation that may make you feel very emotional, even, you know, weepy. It is about coming very clean about unwise decisions with regards to a love situation. That is your outcome, Aries. I'm going to take an advice card. Yeah, like I say, I do feel this reading is really flat. I'm sorry about that. I don't know. I don't know if this is your energy or not. I'm assuming it is, or it's whoever you're dealing with. There is a very much lethargic. You see, I dropped my cards and I can't be arsed picking them up now. Advice for Aries. Yeah. Retreat and recharge. I kind of feel you're already here, Aries. I think you need to stay here. I think you need to focus on being the Emperor, being the singer of initiation, being the singer of what's the other one? Transfiguration. But you need to, I think you almost need to write it down, how you're going to do it, you know, have a sort of hit list. Because there's a wee bit too much in your head just now, and I do think you're maybe a little bit over emotional for you to make really clear and good decisions, so it might well help for you to write it down. But this is basically the Hermit card. Take a time out, maybe learn to medicate. Oh shit, I hope not. Meditate. That might be a Freudian slip there. Another advice card for Aries. Just one, please. Just one, please. No, okay. Not sure we have. Actually, I can't even decide. Aries, is this you? Can you just not decide on anything? Spirit, what advice do you have for Aries in this situation? I mean, I think that's probably it, but I sort of feel you might want a bit more. I feel like I want to apologise all the time, Aries. What the frick? Aries. 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 What advice, Spirit, do you have for Aries? Oh my gosh. This is hard work. What advice do you have for Aries? Please like, please subscribe, even if you don't like the message. Aries. Spirit, please give me some advice for my Aries. What advice do you have for Aries? The Two of Swords with the Ten of Cups. The focus certainly needs to be on your emotional fulfillment just now, Aries. That is the bottom line, and that is actually the root of the matter. And this is you having to make a decision. I've got the Lover's card in reverse twice here, which can, as I say, often denote some sort of decision in love. So this is, you know, taking a time out with the Two of Swords, blocking all external interference, you know, drop whatever you can that you don't need to deal with in your life. I do honestly think you need to write this down. I think that would help you enormously, even if it's the pros and cons. Now, I'm not suggesting once you write a pro and con list that you follow it. Personally, I think what that actually just hammers home is where your gut instincts will drive you. Because if you know, you could write 15 pros and 1 con, but it's still the con that you go for. She in this card is turning her back on her emotions. She's blocking her eyes. She's very much going within. I think you need to learn to, I'm going to say medicate again, and that's worrying me. Aries, I don't know if you are taking some sort of medication. I mean, not that that's necessarily a bad thing, but you know, it's kind of weird that it's come up twice. That might make you feel a bit fuzzy in the mind, and it's just something to think about. But there's a lot of guided meditations online and on YouTube if it's something you're not able to do yourself. That does take a lot of time, but just make sure you're getting enough sleep, enough rest. Drop everything that you do not need to deal with, but you need to focus on where your emotional fulfillment is, because that is absolutely at the crux of it. And just take all you know, the time you need, because as I say, I don't think you're in a very good position right now to bring someone into your life or to try and get a relationship back on track. I think you've got a wee bit of work to do there before that happens. So there you go, Aries. I do hope you find it useful. I'm sorry it was a bit sort of stoppy-starting, a bit flat. What can I say? Have a good month, and I'll talk to you really soon. Bye-bye.